Details revealed about Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura's freak-offs. Combs sued again, and a lawyer sues Jay-Z and his lawyers, making bold claims. I go through 7 major developments in Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z's ongoing legal sagas. This is a Law and Crime legal alert. Did you know that children are being diagnosed with serious conditions like type 2 diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? And research is potentially linking ultra-processed foods to these outcomes. Morgan & Morgan is stepping in to fight to hold food companies accountable. With decades of experience fighting large corporations, they are ready to stand up for families who deserve justice. If your child under 21 has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or fatty liver disease, visit www.forthepeople.com/food to learn more. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Sean Combs and Jay-Z have been in the headlines a lot over the last couple of months, and it's really not the kind of attention either one of them wants. The two rap moguls have known one another for years and years. They've supported one another in business, and now they're named as defendants together in a civil lawsuit filed by a woman who claims both men raped her when she was 13 in the year 2000. I'll get to the latest on that case in a bit. But first, I want to get to the most recent developments in Sean Combs' federal criminal case. It involves his lawyers and the freak-offs that he engaged in with his ex, Cassie Ventura. Combs, as I've told you many times, faces very serious federal charges of racketeering, sex trafficking by coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has, of course, pleaded not guilty to those charges and has insisted he is innocent. Now, one of the major pieces of evidence in this case, as far as the sex trafficking charge is concerned, are videos of Cassie Ventura having sex with male sex workers as Combs watched. They're called freak-offs, and Combs' attorneys say they've now watched the tapes, and they say they prove he is innocent. Combs' lawyers wrote in a letter to the court, the 9 videos at issue are the so-called freak-off tapes with victim 1, that the government has repeatedly referenced, causing wild speculation in the media. Contrary to what the government has led this court and the public to believe, the so-called freak-offs were private sexual activity between fully consenting adults in a long-term relationship. Like many Americans in the privacy of their own bedrooms, they sometimes filmed their sexual activity. These videos unambiguously show that the person alleged in the indictment to be victim 1 not only consented, but thoroughly enjoyed herself. Now, the public found out about the freak-offs after Cassie Ventura filed a civil suit against Sean Combs in November of 2023. Ventura said Combs forced her to set up the freak-offs and to hire male sex workers, and that the freak-offs sometimes went on for days. Combs would watch and masturbate, according to Ventura and federal prosecutors. Now, part of the government's case involves the allegation that Combs used these freak-off tapes to control Cassie Ventura, to keep her from leaving him. Combs' team says that's not true. They write, the recordings also directly refute the allegations that Mr. Combs kept these videos as collateral. These recordings were not on Mr. Combs' devices and were not seized from his homes. Rather, victim 1 kept these videos on her own device for years and produced them to the government herself. Now, the government was not happy that this letter was filed with so much detail. Some of it was redacted, but much of it was not. Federal prosecutors wrote to the judge, under the protective order, no portion of the videos should have been filed on the public docket without being filed under seal or without the defense first conferring with the government as to the designation. Neither occurred. Instead of conferring in advance or redacting all content related to the videos, the motion blatantly violated the protective order when it left unredacted descriptions and characterizations of material designated AEO. AEO means attorney's eyes only. Cassie's lawyers weren't happy either. A footnote reads, legal counsel for victim 1 has advised the government that victim 1 also opposes the public filing of information relating to the content of the videos in violation of the protective order. It states a crime victim has the right to be treated with fairness and with respect for the victim's dignity and privacy. Now, it will, of course, be up to a jury to decide whether Sean Combs is guilty of federal crimes. Cassie Ventura will have to testify, and Sean Combs' attorneys have said he will also take the stand. The sex trafficking charge is just one piece of the case, although it has gotten the most attention. Combs is also charged with racketeering conspiracy using his businesses to commit a number of crimes, including arson, kidnapping, and robbery. RICO is basically organized crime. Robin Nunn is a lawyer who practices in federal courts. So, Robin, does Diddy's argument that Cassie was somehow enjoying herself during these freak-offs, does that help him, or does it really boil down to whose testimony the jury believes?
Combs's defense is typical of what you would expect someone who is accused of a crime like this to state. The videos, obviously, I have not seen yet, and I doubt they depict one way or the other whether or not the individuals were actually enjoying themselves. I think that it is a common defense to say that there was obviously no crime being committed, and that's exactly what he's saying here.
But it will be up to the jury. And there's really another piece of this case, and that's the racketeering case. And they don't really talk about that. Diddy's attorneys, Sean Combs's attorneys, they stay away from the racketeering part of this. They are focused solely on the sex trafficking part of this case.
Yeah, I think that the idea there, Angenette, is if they can show that there was actually no rape, no trafficking, no crime, then the racketeering RICO charges all sort of float away. Whether that's true or not, I don't know if I agree, but I think that their defense is to kind of take these crimes apart and knock them off. And if they argue that Cassie is enjoying herself, that this is consensual, that there is no one who is there against their will, and that they had consent, that they can begin to chip away at the RICO charges, because you need an underlying crime in order for there to be actually RICO.
Now, in Las Vegas, Sean Combs's name is coming up in the case of the man accused of ordering the murder of rapper Tupac Shakur. Prosecutors have filed a new transcript of a secretly recorded interview with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis and Las Vegas Metro Police from 2009. In that interview, Keefe D says that Combs wanted Death Row Records co-founder Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur dead and offered money to have the hit carried out. But Keefe D says he never got the money. Keefe D is trying to get the case thrown out. Sean Combs has denied any involvement in the murder for many years now. Sean Combs also faces a new civil lawsuit, this one filed in New York by a woman who claims Combs sexually assaulted her when she was a 16-year-old babysitter in the year 2000. The suit claims the woman worked as a babysitter in the same building where Combs's romantic partner at the time, listed only as a well-known woman, lived. Combs was dating Jennifer Lopez at the time. She is not named in the lawsuit. The woman claims in the suit that Combs told her she should get in his car and that the two men who worked with him were there. She claims she was reluctant, but eventually got in, but the car didn't go to her home. She said she was offered a drink to calm her nerves, but it made her groggy. The suit claims she was sexually assaulted and taken home and left in the lobby of her building. Sean Combs's lawyers are denying the latest claims, as they have denied the claims in many other civil lawsuits. They said no matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted or sex trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. Now to Jay-Z and the latest with him. Ever since he was officially named in the lawsuit, things have been kind of crazy, with a legal war of words between his lawyer, Alex Spiro, and the accuser's lawyer, Tony Busby. Jay-Z, whose legal name is Sean Carter, is being sued civilly by a Jane Doe from Alabama, who claims Sean Combs and Jay-Z sexually assaulted her at a VMA's after party in the year 2000. Just a quick recap on that case. The woman said she went to Radio City Music Hall because the MTV Video Music Awards were taking place there. Inside, it was a big night for Sean Combs' then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, who won the VMA for Best Dance Music Video. The accuser was 13 at the time. She said she didn't have a ticket, so she hung out outside of Radio City Music Hall with limo drivers. One convinced her to go to a house for an after party. The woman said a lot of celebrities were at this house and that she drank something that made her feel woozy, and she found a bedroom where she laid down. The suit states, soon after, Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity, Celebrity B. Plaintiff immediately recognized all three celebrities. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed, At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he vaginally raped her, while Combs and Celebrity B watched. After Carter finished, he stepped back toward the wall. Combs then stepped forward and vaginally raped plaintiff while Carter and Celebrity B watched. Combs then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral sex on him. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taken aback, Combs stopped his attempt. Now, Jay-Z has vehemently denied these allegations, and since the suit was filed, there have been inconsistencies that have emerged in the woman's story, including the fact that she claimed her dad picked her up that night, but he told NBC News he doesn't remember doing that and it would have taken him hours to drive to pick her up. And the woman claims she talked to Benji Madden at the party, but he was on tour in the Midwest at the time. Well, an old friend of Jay-Z's who has a complicated past with him is now coming to his defense. Rapper Beanie Sigel says the woman should have to reveal her name. Right now, a judge is allowing her to remain anonymous. Sigel and Jay-Z were both artists on Rockefeller Records back in the early aughts. Jay-Z was a partial owner of that label. The two had a falling out. Then Sigel recorded a diss track about Jay-Z in 2009, but the two have since smoothed things over. Now Sigel has spoken out about the lawsuit where Jay-Z is being sued along with Sean Combs by that woman identified right now only as Jane Doe. She claims Jay-Z and Sean Combs raped her at that VMA party back in 2000. Well, Sigel talked about the claim on the Art of Dialogue YouTube channel recently.
You got people like me that don't believe it. You got other people that believe anything. You got some people that want it to be true. Me, I don't know. Yeah, I gotta say it like I don't want that shit to be true. I don't believe that shit. I can't believe that.
Sigel also says he believes the Jane Doe should have to reveal her name.
Who is this? Who is she? Who is she?
She don't have to reveal her identity.
All right then. There you go right there. How? Listen, let me explain something to you. When I was going to court in the feds, right? Yeah, man, and I'm quite sure Jay feeling this way too. And people should understand that and look at it. We have the right to face our accuser. When I was going to court, it said the White Grant versus the United States. When I was in the courtroom, I looked around and I ain't see the United States. I don't think the United States of America could have fit in that courtroom. The earth is spacious. Everybody voicing opinion and talking about this shit. Jay got the right to face his accuser. Where is this little bit? 13-year-old, what a 13-year-old doing in one of them parties anyway? How'd she get there?
Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, has asked the judge presiding over the case to dismiss it, citing the accuser's inaccuracies and other issues he sees with the case, including Tony Busby not filing the proper paperwork to appear before the court. Tony Busby has yet to file a response to the suit. And speaking of Tony Busby, his firm has filed 2 lawsuits against Alex Spiro's firm, Quinn Emanuel, which represents Jay-Z, and the rap mogul's company, Roc Nation. Busby's suit claims Quinn Emanuel and Roc Nation have been trying to get his former clients to file frivolous cases against him. Neither has responded formally to Busby's suit. Now back to Sean Combs. A documentary on Peacock has people talking, and I watched it. And there was one part that really piqued my interest. Well, 2, actually. I've told you before about Sean Combs' childhood, how he was born in Harlem and his mother moved him and his sister to Mount Vernon after their father, Melvin, was murdered. Well, Sean Combs has revealed some things about his childhood over the years, like losing his virginity at age 12 and watching pornography. Well, one of Combs' childhood friends said that when they were kids, Sean Combs' mother, Janice, hosted wild parties at her house when they were kids. He said it wasn't uncommon for them to walk into a bedroom in the house and find people having sex on the weekends. And that made him wonder whether that shaped who Sean Combs is today and his views on sex. Another thing revealed in the documentary, Combs' one-time bodyguard, Gene Deal, floated a theory that Combs was involved in setting up the murder of the Notorious B.I.G., one of his own recording artists. Combs has denied that allegation in the past. A spokesperson for Combs has called the documentary irresponsible journalism of the worst kind. Now, it's no secret that he and former talk show host Wendy Williams have a long history. Well, Williams went on The Breakfast Club last week and told the host that Diddy will go to prison for life, people. A little background. Williams and Breakfast Club host Charlemagne the God used to co-host a radio show together years and years ago. Williams has largely been out of the public eye and under a restrictive conservatorship because of health issues. Because of her relationship with Charlemagne, it's not surprising that she would go on his show to talk about this. Williams also said, "You don't know things that I knew about Diddy back in the day. And you know what? It's about time." She added, "It is about time, Diddy done." So why does Wendy Williams dislike Combs so much? Williams has known Combs since the 1990s, and she actually blamed him for her being fired from her Hot 97 radio show back then. Why would Combs want her fired? Let's bring Charlemagne the God back into this. Charlemagne confirmed in an interview that Wendy got fired for putting it out on the radio back then that Combs was gay. Wendy Williams has also said that Combs sent members of a girl group to beat her up in the 1990s, but she escaped. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.